Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily streaming show here on Facebook. I'm Matthew Buzzy. This is Sasha Segan. If you're watching live on Facebook, you can leave a comment. Social Pete is man in the comments section. He will read out whatever you have to write and ask us. So if you have questions, if you have comments about what we're showing off, please put them there. If you're watching later on YouTube, give a like, give a subscribe, and maybe come check us out when we're live every day at 10 a.m. Every day at 10 a.m. we will do one cool thing. Today, Sasha, that one cool thing
is the Kobo Clara HD, and this is a new e-reader from Kobo.
Kobo. That's fun to say.
Are you familiar with Kobo?
I've heard of Kobo.
Okay.
Maybe just from working here, though.
Yeah.
In fairness.
So there are basically three major players in the e-reader realm in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And they are Amazon, which massively dominates the field.
Never heard of them.
Okay. Barnes & Noble, which has been making e-readers for a long time, but is perpetually on the verge of going out of business.
Sure.
And Kobo. And Kobo is originally Canadian.
Kobo and the two strings.
They have a perhaps they have a strong position in Canada. They have a strong position in some other countries like France and Germany. Mm-hmm. They're owned by a major, gigantic Japanese conglomerate called Rakuten, which is not going out of business anytime soon. And they are the best non-Amazon alternative for people looking for an e-reader.
So why would one want a non-Amazon alternative? Please extol the virtues of that.
So one wants a non-Amazon alternative if a lot of the ebooks that you're reading are in either EPUB, PDF, or CBZ formats.
Okay.
Because the Kobo e-readers read those formats natively. And Amazon requires that basically everything get transcoded into the Amazon e-reader format, which sometimes loses or messes up internal formatting from these other formats.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So now Kobo, now the Clara HD is $129. It's the same price. It's about the same price as the Paperwhite. Mm-hmm. And it does have some advantages over the Paperwhite physically. Okay. As you can see, it's extremely small and light.
It's nice. It's nice looking.
Yeah. It is extremely small and light. It is noticeably smaller and lighter than the Kindle Paperwhite. Effortless to carry. See, effortless.
I expended no effort.
Exactly. And yet it has a 6-inch 300 ppi e-ink screen.
How is that size-wise?
That is the
comparison.
That is the standard size for most e-readers nowadays. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze.
Same, it's very itchy.
Yeah, it's very dusty in here. We need to run the RoboVax or something. But so it's the same size screen as the Paperwhite. It's the same size screen as the latest Nook. This is a standard e-reader screen. Now Kobo does do 7.8-inch screens on their higher end models. No, it's just a little bit larger. And what I'm finding is, as you can see here, I've been trying to read some manga and comics on this e-reader, and the 6-inch screen is just a tiny bit too small. Like I feel like because the Kobo e-readers support the CBR and CBZ formats, which are very common in digital comics, I really wanted to load up some comics, and I mean, just look at the text. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a little small.
Yeah, if you have really sharp eyes, it's fine, but you
that would get a little stressful after a while. It's like reading at like 8-point font.
Exactly. You want a 7.8-inch e-reader for those comics. So that goes to the books. And now you can buy books through the Kobo Store, which has pretty much everything you would expect that is not published directly by Amazon.
Okay.
Because Amazon keeps their books
stuff
to themselves.
On Amazon, yeah.
Right. So let me get here's a book that I bought from Kobo, Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. Some good robot fighting in that.
Sure. Sign me up.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's great looking. Definitely easy to read. Now, one of the major advantages of the Clara HD is the changeable front light color.
Ooh.
Now, the Paperwhite has a blue front light, white front light, bluish white. But with the Clara HD, you can go from, I don't want to be on auto. You can go from a bluish front light to a yellowish front light, which is not, here, I'm going to pump up the front light so that we can maybe see. Yeah, there we go.
That's an orange hue.
Right. So you can go to an orange front light or a blue front light, and you can have it dynamically change that front light color based on what time of day it is.
I love that. Have that on my computer, have that on my phone.
Exactly.
Can't live without it now.
And that is a feature that Amazon does not have right now.
Ooh, that's a big one, because
Yeah.
those bright Kindle lights at night, they're so white and so bright, if your room is dark, they
Yeah, so the
hurt your eyes.
Kobo with the yellow light can be a lot more restful. And now Barnes & Noble, their most recent Nook Glow Light 3 has that feature as well, but as I said, I'm a little uncomfortable about whether Barnes & Noble will exist in 6 months. So okay, so we've got the nice changeable front light. You also have on Kobo a really terrific selection of fonts. There's, as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of fonts that you can pick from, including Open Dyslexic, which Amazon has now. That is a really interesting font for people who have visual or neurological problems with reading. It's designed to be easier to read that way. But there's a lot of different font size and margin options. And then there isn't, now what they don't have is they don't have some of the added Amazon features like X-ray, which gives you a summary of the characters in a book, where you are in a book. It doesn't do audiobooks. It has no audio out. No audio. What it does have is it gives you a nice little rundown of how far you are in a book.
Reading stats,
Some
reading
reading
analytics.
stats, exactly. It gives you some reading stats, and it suggests other related books in the Kobo store that you might want to read next. So it's a pretty spare user interface, but it's clean and clear and no nonsense, and supports a whole bunch of formats, and so there's a lot to love here.
Nice. We have a question.
So with the stats, are they just limited to the book you're currently reading, or are there like career stats?
Unlock some achievements.
Yeah,
Average time to read.
It's about the book that you're currently reading. It's to give you an idea of how much more book you have in front of you.
Not your overall kill death ratio. It's not.
Sadly,
on there.
no.
Darn.
What they're trying to do is, when you're reading a physical book, of course, you always have this very kind of visceral sense of how far you are through the book, and you can quickly thumb through, and you can see where the chapters are and that sort of stuff. And you can't do that on an e-reader, and they're just trying to give you a little bit of sense of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, and so you can, of course, get it with cases.
Ooh, tell me more.
This is a really nice case that it came with. Of course, the case costs extra if you're buying it.
Boom. Leather?
And
is that what we're dealing with here?
Yeah. We've got some leather, and
Nice case.
yeah,
I
nice
like
case.
that.
What it is not. It does not do. As I said, it does not do audiobooks. I can't get it to stand up because these origami things always confuse me. There we go.
Got it.
Yay. Okay. It does not do audiobooks. It is not water resistant. It does not have a micro SD card slot. It has 8 gigs of storage though, which is enough in the world of ebooks.
Sure. That's a lot of books.
It is relatively easy to add files to it. I plugged it into a Mac, I plugged it into a PC, I was able to drag over EPUBs, PDFs, CBZs. It does work with Overdrive for library books, and in fact, Rakuten, the company that owns Kobo, also owns Overdrive. So Overdrive is the standard for US libraries. So you can pretty much be assured that Overdrive and Kobo will work together.
as
They're
one.
the same company.
Yeah, you would think. That's not always a guarantee, Sasha.
Yeah,
Out here in this world.
Good point.
So you said the price was $129?
It's $129, and it primarily competes with the Kindle Paperwhite and the Barnes & Noble Nook Glow Light 3 at around the same price point. The Kindle Paperwhite's advantages are that it has the X-ray functionality and the Goodreads integration, which is not on here. Although Kobo will, like for instance, let you post about your books to Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
interesting.
Take it straight to the people.
Exactly.
Is this the same e-ink screen technology
It's the
that's going on
same-
in the Kindle?
This is basically the same screen.
It's a Kindle Paperwhite.
It's the same screen for
I did notice
all
on the
three.
back, if I can get it out of this case, if I can figure out how.
There's an interesting stipple pattern. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
It's
point
to
out.
help you grip it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I prefer the look to the, not that they're like that dissimilar, but I prefer the look of this to the ooh, texture.
Yeah, it's
the look of this to the Kindle,
soothing
which
on the
almost
finger.
looks, I don't want to say old, but in a way the design is a little
I don't think
It's
the
like old.
Kindle-
It's very stodgy.
The Kindle hasn't been redesigned in years.
Yeah, it's just like a box.
This is fresh.
It's
This is a little
got
fresh.
nice curved corners. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. Let's take another question.
Where can you buy this?
You can buy this online.
I was wondering. Free shipping.
Online at kobobooks.com. Free shipping.
Does Amazon block it from their store? Is it on sale on Amazon or no?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Ooh, I'm so
I
curious.
haven't checked. And then if you live in Canada, Kobo is the official e-reader of Indigo, which is the big bookstore chain in Canada. Okay. And so you can buy them in bookstores in Canada. But primarily you buy them through kobobooks.com and they're on pre-order now. They'll be delivered, I think, next week.
Nice.
Yeah. So in summary, I haven't actually.
No full review.
I have
yet.
not written the full review because I have been dealing with a 7,000 word feature this week, which you folks will see soon. But if you are looking for a non-Amazon e-reader, and I have to say that because like the vast majority of Americans, I feel, are like deep in the vortex of the Amazon ecosystem.
Correct.
And you've bought enough Kindle books by now that there is no way out.
Right.
And so you are stuck with that ecosystem
In perpetuity.
However,
Until Amazon owns everything.
Exactly. However, if you are not sitting on a giant library of Kindle books, and especially if you want to read EPUBs and PDFs on your device, this looks pretty sweet.
If you never jumped into an e-reader, or if you've been itching to upgrade from an old Kindle or maybe you have a Nook.
Maybe you have a Nook.
Maybe you have a Nook and you're looking to jump.
Now, unfortunately, you cannot read Nook books on this.
No Nook books.
No Nook books.
Let it be known. Finish all your Nook books before jumping ship.
There is a possibility that you can use. So there's some software called Calibre, which can DDRM ebooks and convert them to other formats. And
Sounds legit.
well, the problem is like I've done it because I'm a big e-reader person. I've done it. The problem is it works, but relatively frequently the formatting in the book goes a little haywire, which is frustrating. But it is a way to at least maintain your library when you're switching ebook platforms.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't lose them all together.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is good. All right, so if we have no more questions, that is we do. Plot twist.
So with Calibre, that's a free service, paid service?
Yeah, Calibre is freeware. Calibre is freeware, and it's kind of like Calibre is from the culture that brings you things like BitTorrent.
Right, I was gonna say this is like the software itself is legal. The activity that you then do with the software is questionably legal.
So the question about whether or not it is legal to DDRM your own ebooks that you own for personal use is
a gray area.
It's a very, very gray area.
A gray area that no one's probably going to enforce and/or legislate.
Exactly. If you don't then upload those ebooks and ask other people to download them, no one is going to come after you.
Especially, if this was the thing you bought in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the sharing economy, here I'm just gonna have a random rant.
Please.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Sasha rant.
We got time.
I love a Sasha rant.
Okay. So I'm really frustrated that a whole bunch of billionaire Silicon Valley douchebags have repurposed the phrase or used the phrase sharing economy to refer to
things that get them money,
taking away people's full-time jobs and making them gig workers in the precariat. Okay, sharing economy generally means that the workers are sharing more of their money with these platforms, and not that any actual sharing that happens that helps the Lyft drivers or Uber drivers or any of these other actual sharers occurs. The real sharing economy is something that corporate America does not want to talk about because the real sharing economy is BitTorrent.
It's true.
The real sharing economy is all of these intellectual property violating services that vary from people, outright stealing IP and outright stealing movies and TV shows, which I definitely do not approve of because I have family who work in the film industry, and I do believe they should get paid for their work, but the real sharing economy is also doing things like making sure that when you buy a book, you can actually read that book on any device that you buy. And that is something that should absolutely be protected. And that is something that should absolutely be celebrated. We should be able to buy content, own that content, and use that content on any device we have. And in fact, also in a non-commercial way, in a small scale way, not an uploading it for 10,000 downloads way, in a small scale way, you know what? We should be able to share that content with our friends. I should be able to lend out an ebook to my friend or my wife or someone or him and not have it be a ticking clock of DRM. Okay, that is nonsense, and that is going to a world where we own nothing, and that is not the sharing economy. One last question.
That's well said.
Completely different subject, but so if you wanted to annotate this, how can you? And are there any e-readers that use pens?
Are there any e-readers that use pen? Okay, so if you want to annotate in this, there is you can hold down on a word, drag the handle, and then there is a highlight or add note button. And then you can look back through your notes and highlights in the book. This is a pretty standard e-reader feature. It is absolutely here as well.
I want Sasha's annotated copies of his ebooks.
It's relatively slow though, because input on an e-reader is slow because of the long latency of the screen.
Yeah.
So,
It took a hot minute for that little box to pop up.
Yeah, in terms of e-ink e-readers with pens, I can't think of anything in a small form factor. If you go up to the really big expensive ones like the Sony Digital Paper or the Onyx Books Max, these are big sort of A4 sized e-readers. They typically cost in the $600 to $800 range. They have pens. The pens work well. They're more like e-ink tablets. But I haven't seen any with pens in this small form factor.
What would one do with a pen in this small form factor?
In this small form factor? I mean,
Make it a little easier to highlight and annotate?
yeah, markup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be about markup.
Yeah. Pretty much it.
But yeah, I mean, if you folks have seen an interesting smaller e-reader with a pen that is available in the U.S., and that's a big asterisk there, that is available in the U.S.
It's what we tend to focus
that
on
you'd like
here.
us to review, then I'd definitely like to take a look at it.
Indeed. Well, if you have no more questions now and we have no more rants,
Then I think we
Is that
will.
no
Yeah.
more
Then,
rants?
then I think we will
Just
be back with
confirming.
one more cool thing tomorrow.
I think that's probably it. Maybe another rant tomorrow as well. You never know. Sasha keeps everyone on their toes at all times.
Kobo Clara HD. We will have a review up on PC Mag at some point after this big feature gets edited. Really, I promise it'll be. up there.
It'll come. You've clearly spent some time with it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Again, every day, 10 a.m. here on Facebook. See you tomorrow.